876 543 221.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 710 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm back. I'm your host, Christian Piles, back from Colorado Springs, Colorado, meeting with USA Wrestling. Awesome times, as always, with that group. I'm joined today by James Dean Rader, Ben Funky Askren, and David Dylan Duncan Bray. He's here to talk some Super 32. It's Super 32 week. It's a big week for Bitcoin, Ben. It's going great.
I'm staring at these prices right now. I'm not even gonna talk on the show. I'm just gonna watch the prices the whole episode.
Well, now the rumor is that you've been using some wrong exchanges and you weren't trusting Kyle Brackey's exchanges, which have the accurate...
I use crypto.com, which is a very good exchange, and people are saying it's ahead on price by a little bit, whatever. So I'm on CoinMarketCap right now, which is probably the number one or one of the number one price following things. So we're gonna get the all-time high today. We're gonna have a party.
All right. Well, party animals. No one parties like Ben Askren, as we know. Big week for wrestling. We got Super 32, and what's near and dear to my heart is the competition debut for Caleb Piles is happening Saturday.
Where?
It is a local tournament in Texas. I'm not even gonna say where.
Why do they have tournaments in October? That's kind of weird.
It's preseason. There's tournaments all the time.
Really? Not in Wisconsin.
Yeah, well, welcome to Texas. I don't know. I have no expectations, but I'm very excited, as is he. He's been asking to compete for some years now. So
all that and Veteran Worlds in 1 week. I mean,
plus Veteran Worlds.
Jeez,
we've got. I'm not gonna go there. Okay, David. Kick it to you. Let's talk a little Super 32, brother.
Dude, it's Super 32 week. I mean, this tournament is insane this year. It feels like I thought last year was gonna be maybe the biggest one because so many guys hadn't competed in forever, but it even feels like the field this year might be stronger. So super pumped. We go weight by weight. There's a little bit of a story, I think, with every one of these weight classes. Pre-seeds are out, so it's could be really interesting. 106 pounders. I mean, the big question going into this one.
I got the pre-seeds.
Yeah, you looking at the pre-seeds. Big question going into this one, I think, is where does Bo Bassett fit in this high school weight class? Right, he's going to be in 8th grade this year. But he's in the high school division, and so that's the question. There's going to be a bunch of super tough 106 pounders. 106 is also, it's the time of year where you see a bunch of guys decide if they're going to try to hold 106 or go up to 13. And so, half of the ranked guys that are at Super 32 that are in the 106 rankings are actually now going to go up to 13. So there's not a ton of ranked guys.
Shout out Seth Mendoza.
Wait, did
they really pre-seed to 30?
Yeah. Some weight classes, different weights are different. There's a different number of pre-seeds. So,
wow.
So there's different ones. But
Shane McFillin, start calling him McLovin.
He's McLovin.
He's a good guy. If I don't know if the starter goes down, you got McFillin.
You got a good McFillin.
So he,
Brain.
Hey,
that's pretty good.
That's
not too bad.
That's pretty good.
That's not too bad.
JD's mad he didn't come up with that.
Yeah. But so Bo Bassett in the mix here, 106, and some of the guys at the top. Barrick Jordan, he's number 3 in the country. Nathan Desmond, Cooper Hilton, Seth Mendoza, Christian Castillo, some of the really tough guys. What do you guys think? Anybody?
It's the Bo Bassett show. I mean, I think it's crazy to say foregone conclusion, but I really think he's gonna win. He might not, but I just think. One of the big questions you have for a guy with Super 32 when they're going to be, younger, it's like, okay, the physical maturity. Well, that's just not even. It's like the opposite of an issue with Bo. It's like one of his biggest assets. He's got wrestled in so many high level matches. He just, he won Cadet Worlds. He's been entertained. It's just he's the trajectory he's on. I think he's going to win no problem here, and it's not about disrespecting the others. It's about just the respect that I have for Bo.
Yeah, he could have. If these seeds hold,
Piles getting a call.
You need to take it.
Yo, I wish I could tell you who's calling me right now. You would.
Oh, give us a hint.
Wow.
Mr. Big
I think I have
Timer.
it. I think
Bray
I know.
knows.
I think I know who it is.
I'm sorry, my
Ray,
ring was
you
on.
give
That
us a
never
hint.
happens.
I can't do it.
It's Trump.
It's oh wow, I was wrong. So if you think about this, looking at the pre-seeds, Bo Bassett's going to have some interesting tests. If these seeds hold, he'll have Louis Gill in a quarterfinal. That's a Pennsylvania State champ. Guy's super tough. That was also, by the way, the first round matchup at Fargo for Anthony Knox. It was like the round of 128. Louis Gill and Anthony Knox hit, which is crazy. But if Bassett gets past Gill, which, all indications would be that would happen, then he would have a semi with Nathan Desmond, super tough PA kid. So that would be fun. I agree that I think Bassett's coming out of that bottom half of the bracket. The top half is really interesting to me. We talk about Seth Mendoza. He was in the futures match. Who's number one? He would have a quarterfinal with Cooper Hilton, who those guys met at U15 trials, and it was Hilton that got the better of Mendoza there, but they've gone back and forth. That's a very, very interesting one. And then the winner of that match would get Barrick Jordan. Barrick Jordan is the highest returning placer from Super 32. Last year he was 5th, and then he won NHSCA. It's a pretty tough NHSCA bracket. He's good on top, good on the mat, so some interesting styles that those guys, either Hilton or Mendoza would have to navigate. Whoever comes out the top side, you'd have to favor Barrick Jordan, and then that would present a really interesting matchup for Bassett. I don't know that we've seen Bassett have to wrestle anybody that's got some of the mat skills that Barrick Jordan does, so be interesting. But I think a lot of people are going to favor Bo Bassett, and trying to become another 8th grade Super 32 champ.
Listen, I don't
I feel
know.
like Barrick Jordan, and maybe I've only watched him. He was at the AWA Duels 2 years ago, and I had no idea who he was. And then I'm like, shit, he's kind of good. Yeah. And but he had a really good dump and a really good tilt series, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. Right? Am I right on that one?
Yeah, and he's able to. He's one of those guys that can he can put a ride on if he needs to. He can just he can get tough and win some matches that are close. That's a skill, winning matches that are close, and he's good at that. So his NHSCA's was like that. He had some matches where he had to really kind of dig deep.
All right.
And he's originally from Arizona, but moved to St. Paris, correct?
Yes, and he's not related to
he's not related, yeah.
The lineage of Jordans that are at St. Paris Graham.
But, no relation whatsoever.
Yeah, it's the same last name. 13 is going to be really, really fun. This is, a lot of those guys that migrated out of 106 are now up at 113. So you got Knox and Lillidahl, the top 2 guys from 106. We saw them at who's number 1, and then you got last year's champ Vinny Kilkery, and then a whole bunch of super good guys after that.
I feel like I'm surprised he's still making 13. I think I watched him at Cadet Duels and thought, damn, he's kind of big.
Kilkery?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's short.
He's short. He's actually when he won his state title as a freshman in PA, he was like the smallest 106 pounder there was.
He was like 99, 100 pounds.
Yeah, so super small. And then last year at 106, I remember after he won, he's like, yeah, I actually had to cut a couple pounds to make 6. I have seen him enter some tournaments at 20, but I think he's really small at 20. 13 makes sense for him. It's gonna be really interesting. He's the 1 seed, Knox the 2. Those guys hit in a quarterfinal last year, and Kilkery really kind of put it on Knox. Got a 5-point move, a takedown and turn, and then just kind of was in control after that. But Knox, it seems like he's come a really long way. So I don't know, but potential Lillidahl Kilkery semi. That's a lot of fun. I kind of think it's going to be the top 2 seeds, though, that come out, Kilkery and Knox. And, seeing what Kilkery did last year, it makes me lean towards picking Vinny. But man, Knox has come a long way, and I kind of think he might get it done.
I think I would pick Knox in this matchup. I think he's the best guy. I don't know this person, but Dragan Oreen?
Yes.
Anyone named Dragan?
Yeah.
His brother goes to
NC State. Yeah.
Kai.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He's a fire breather, man. Tough.
Fire breather. What does that mean?
And
His name sounds like Dragon.
It means he's a dragon.
Sounds really offensive.
No.
Someone called me a fire breather. We're gonna fight,
dude. Well, what if your name was like 1 letter off from Dragon?
Yeah. your name was Dragon Askren, there'd be a lot of fire breathing jokes.
That's a bad name. I'm hoping that would be not good.
I think it's a cool
I think
name.
it's a cool name, and you should have another child and name him Dragon, Ben. That's all we're saying.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, Dragon.
Which
Askren.
part, the kid or the dragon name?
Neither.
Yeah. Ben's done.
Dragon
Knock on
Askren.
wood.
People got multiple jokes they can make if you name your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This match, this weight's really interesting. And there's a couple, we talked about Bo Bassett at 106. There's a couple more. The Bishop McCourt 8th grade class, that super class they're putting together. Sam Herring's in here. Jax Fort is also in here. A couple guys from the South that are now in PA. So a lot of fun. 113 is a weight class where there's gonna be some chaos, and
it's definitely up there for my favorite
yes
weight classes. Or
Me
going
too.
to be my favorite weight class to watch.
Me too. I really like the potential for chaos. There's going to be some fun.
Sam's going to place. I feel it.
He looked really good. Who did he beat?
He wrestled Knox pretty tough at Fargo. I was pretty impressed considering how their first meeting happened, went down. I thought he made good strides there.
He did make good strides. He had a really good win at the True Power event recently. I'm trying to remember who he beat. I think it was a state finalist from Pennsylvania. He's been looking really good. I could see for sure he could be on the podium here.
Yeah.
120, Nate Jezeroga.
Snap.
He's in the mix. I see Joey Cruz as a 2 seed, but I don't believe Joey is actually going to go from what I've heard. He's not going to be there. If he is, we could see that rematch, and I would like to see that rematch. Joey Cruz he's never going to make any excuses, but he took the who's number one call, very last minute notice, was not, planning to be down at weight, did it, made it, wrestled tough, but I think with, if he is there, that's a match I would like to see, but I don't think he will be.
You know what I'm excited about?
What?
You already know.
120. Oh, Mantonona?
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Oh, yeah. Brockman in the mix.
Brockman.
You know why I'm here.
I'm
here for all Mantononas.
Brockman is, he looked incredible at Fargo. He made the finals, beat Kilkiri convincingly, used all his Mantonona magic in freestyle and looked really good.
Mantonona magic. That's that you should coin that.
Coin it. Trademark it.
All right.
Charge him if he wants to use it. That's the Bray model.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and.
This is a really deep weight. Lauritsen at 6, he's really good.
Dude,
remember him?
Yeah, Lauritsen. It would not surprise me if Lauritsen was in the finals at this weight class.
Yeah.
That guy is so solid. I love this weight class. I think it's Jezeroga, right? I mean,
oh yeah, ain't no one beating that guy.
He.
I say that every year at Super 32 about someone.
Last year, he everybody was circling a Jezeroga Kilkiri final at 106, and Jezeroga got beat early, round of 32 or round of 16.
Yeah.
Came back.
Came back for third, and
he killed everyone on the way back.
He kind of did. He had a really good match with Knox in the third place match, but he really did. He looked great, but that was that's to your point. Getting a title at Super 32 is very elusive. It's hard to do. Jezeroga is the pretty clear favorite here. There's so many good guys. Aiden Valencia, we've seen him look really, really good. He is all the way down at the 5 seed, so we could see Valencia Mantonona quarterfinal, which are perfect clash of styles. Valencia is super solid positionally, and Mantonona, you just don't know what you're gonna get.
Yes.
So that's gonna be a lot of fun. But Jezeroga is the guy to watch, and then a really, really fun field after that. Anybody else stand out to you guys here?
Ben, who you got in these fields? Give some shout
I have no one seated so far. I would have to look at the list. I know we've Ben Bast at 113. He's a state champ. I think we have 5 seated guys. I was just looking through, maybe 6 or 7. Max doesn't like Super 32, so a lot of Max's guys are not attending.
Really?
Yeah, they allow headlocks at Super 32.
What's up?
They allow headlocks at Super 32.
No, fireman's carries.
Well, actually, we have Munier and Erickson are both seated. Grayson, Clayton, Sinclair. Maybe 8 seated, now that I think about it.
I thought Max was at Super 32 last year.
He was, but last year was unique because there was nothing going on.
Dang.
Yes.
Well, come back, Mac.
Come on back, Max.
Um,
So yeah, so
some of the seeds here are a little crazy though. By the way, at 20,
Spooky scary.
yeah, I mean,
Spooky seeds.
this is definitely a weight where their boys becoming men. But Kyle Monaperto at the 8 seed, I don't get. I think he should be significantly higher, but that's going to set up a Jezroga Monaperto quarterfinal more than likely.
That's a funny name.
Yeah. That kid's super tough. Had a really good match with Joey Cruz in the HSCA finals, and he's been solid for a long time.
Where should he be seated?
I think I would have had him at probably 3.
Really?
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Had all these guys.
But one of the things that's hard about seeding Super 32 is that, like, you need to take last year's results into account. That's a big part of the seeding. That kind of becomes the thing at some of these tournaments. But let me see. I wonder what he did at Super 32 last year. I mean, he was 5th. He beat Cale Lauritsen. He beat Spencer Moore. He beat Jake Craps, for crying out loud. He should. I think he should be higher. That's a seed I don't understand. That's the kind of thing that, like, I take Jezroga in that match, but that's a tougher matchup than Jezroga would expect, I think, to have in the quarters. So the Monaperto seed I'm a little confused by, but either way, I think it's Jezroga's weight.
I'm excited to watch Dalton Perry at this weight. He's a tough freshman out of Pennsylvania. He had a kind of a down Fargo from what I was expecting. He wrestled Jezroga tough at Akron, but I think he bounces back and does well.
Yeah, I think so too.
He beat Kilcurry at last year's True Power event, correct? That's, I think, when he kind of got on my radar.
Yeah.
As an 8th grader when he beat Kilcurry.
Yeah, he's super good. 26. I mean, you talk about 120 being deep. Look at 26. All the way down to number 8, Kyler Larkin. We've got.
Oh my gosh.
He's
super good.
Fargo finalists, like, all the way down in the seating here.
Shout out PJ Duke.
Yeah. Sergio Lemley right now, number 1 in the country, but this is a weight class that seems like it could get turned on its head at Super 32. There's not much separating a lot of these guys. Corey Land's the 1 seed. He's been really good at I mean, just throughout his career, but at this tournament in particular, he's a guy that could very well take over the number 1 spot in the country. Cannon Webster, the 5 seed. Cannon Webster is
I like him.
Dude, that kid is super tough. I wouldn't be surprised to see him number 1 in the country at the end of the weekend. Vince Robinson at the 4. That kid. So look
Cannon,
at
the one that beat Mason, or is a different Illinois person?
Cannon is the one.
He had a crazy. Oh,
go ahead.
Didn't Robinson have a crazy match with Drake last year?
Yeah, he had a good match with Drake. Vincent Robinson is the one who just smoked Dean Peterson at Fargo, and then it was like, oh, okay, this dude's for real. He lost to Drake Ayala and Fargo, but has looked really, really good. Cannon Webster is the one that upset Cooper Flynn at Fargo.
Oh.
So that's 2. I mean, those are 2 guys that are really good. And you asked a question about Mason. They had a cadet trials match.
Really close, maybe?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, Mason Gibson had to, like, pull it out at the end.
Like a late 2 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He had them all but beat. Ended up taking the loss, but he has looked like just rock solid. And folk style, I think, favors him compared to freestyle. And he's had really good results in freestyle. So Cannon Webster is really good. That top half of the bracket. Cannon Webster, Vince Robinson, quarter, Corey Land, Kyler Larkin, quarter, and then, one of those guys is going to come out. And then the bottom half, Sergio Lemley, Gabe Wisenhunt is a potential semi. But
who do you think's winning this?
Dude, honestly, the guy we haven't brought up that I really think could potentially is PJ Duke. He was a finalist last year at 113. He lost to Braden Davis in the finals. I have a really hard time picking this bracket. I did in my preview and prediction article. I think I picked Cannon Webster over PJ Duke in the finals. I think that's what I picked, and I think that's what could happen.
Good pick.
What do you guys think?
Ken Webster's really good, but I haven't watched much of a few of these other guys, so hard to say.
I have no idea.
This weight is so good. Like, yeah, it's just.
You didn't even mention Little Buzakis.
Didn't even mention Little Buzakis. Yeah, good point.
Lil Boozy, as we've been calling him around these parts.
Yeah.
What's he seated?
Where is he? Man, there's some good guys.
That's fine. Let's keep him moving.
Whatever. Yeah, come on. Let's keep moving. So let's talk about Big Boozy at 132.
Big Boozy.
Big Boozy. Nick Buzakis, the 1 seed. The match I think a lot of people really want to see is a rematch with Nick Buzakis, Emilio Isagire. Isagire the dude is just fearless. Like last year, Isagire jumped on a lot of people's radars, my radar included, when people were aware of him, but like when he beat Jordan Titus, not very many people saw that coming.
No.
Super impressive. He had probably the biggest upset of Fargo when he beat Nick Buzakis, and so now everyone knows this guy. He's part of a super interesting story.
Yes.
Just kind of a sidebar from being a really good wrestler, but I don't know if you guys remember the Greco finals in Fargo. Davian Guanajuato, when he won at 113, he put out this shirt, put it on, it said Eloy Boys, and I didn't know much about him until then, but the Valiant Prep guys down in Arizona, there's a number of them, the Guanajuatos, the Isagares, maybe a couple others that live in this town called Eloy outside of the Phoenix area, and they travel like an hour every day, just get to practice. They really, they come from kind of a, hard situation, and they travel up there to Valiant, and they train like crazy. They wrestle on national schedule, and they get it done. And that was like so clear at Fargo. Every one of Arizona's All-Americans at Fargo was part of that Valiant Prep program, and a bunch of them were from Eloy. Isagire is like kind of the flag bearer for that group, and he's the 3 seed here. He'll potentially have a quarterfinal with Braden Basil. I would favor him there, and then he could see Brock Bobzien in the semis. That match
unless Grayson Clark beats him.
Unless Grayson Clark beats him. That's a good point. Grayson Clark's looked really good lately.
Yeah, he had I was really impressed with him at AWA Duels. I was annoyed because that Joey Fernau dude from Izzy beats all of our guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, dude, he beat someone on our second team. I said, oh man, dude always beats our guys. He said, yeah, he beat me at Fargo. I think it was a 7th place match 2 years ago. I said, well, hopefully you get it back. And then he got 2 takedowns and a pin in the first period against Fernau. So I was really happy, and he just looked really sharp in that match.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, he's been really good. So Grayson, let's see, what's his path? Yeah,
7.
Would be 7. So he'd have Bobzien in the quarters.
Whoever Ted Chase DeBlair, I know him too because he's given the Funky Fresh a few times.
Yeah, DeBlair is one of those guys that looks like he's maybe cutting a little to get down to 32. Been up at 38 some, but so Grayson, yeah, what do you think about that? Has he wrestled Brock Bobzien much?
I don't think he's ever wrestled him. I don't believe so. He kind of, I don't want to say he got upset, but I believe he lost 4-4 in the U17s to a guy who's pretty good, but I'm blanking on his name right now. I think he was an Illinois kid, and then came back in. Who did he lose to on the backside? Took 7th, and then he did place at Fargo, but he kind of had a knee injury, so it wasn't his best performance, I don't think.
Sure. Bobzien was on the Cadet Greco team. Like that guy he was lights out at cadet trials. He's like mean. The dude is like.
Well, I thought he was the one that lost to. Didn't he lose to Mantanona
in freestyle? Yeah,
freestyle finals, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's the guy.
Those matches were wild. Did that series went all 3 matches? I think
it did. Yeah.
And it was totally crazy. Bobzien's going to Wisconsin, so a little Wisconsin. Present Wisconsin on future Wisconsin crime potentially in the quarters. That group on the bottom half is going to be interesting. Buzakis could have Ryder Block in the quarters. That's no easy match there. Ryder Block, super good.
The kid at 9 is good too. Niffenegger.
You gotta be careful with that one.
He's good though. I watched him at Central Regional, and maybe Northern Plains. I was really impressed with him.
Yeah, he's super good. Very, very tough Ohio kid, and that 8-9 is no win, no gimme win for Block for sure. But one of those guys, Buzakis will have in a potential quarter, and then either Seltzer or Danny Ninny in the semi. So,
Wait, is Valiant Prep only for wrestling?
it's really interesting. So
Because I just went to their I just went to their website and I clicked on athletics.
yeah,
And the athletic logo thing is a wrestler, and then the only thing on the page is wrestlers.
That's what's up.
we need to talk to Eric Larkin about what's going on there, because it's really fascinating. So this school, Valiant Prep, they're not in national preps. They're not in Arizona. They're not like sanctioned there. So they don't have like a culminating state championship or anything like that, or national preps or anything they go to. So they pretty much just train for big national events. They do have some other schools in their league, and the schools
Do they have other sports, or is it literally just wrestling?
They might have other sports, but like if you look at the schools in their league, you can tell they're prep
this
schools
is just
that are
wrestling.
designed for academics.
You go to the tuition page, and it says support Valiant, and there's 3 pictures of wrestlers on the tuition page.
Yeah,
That's great.
It's just, I mean, yeah,
dude,
fascinating.
yeah, they have
What was that football school that was pretending
Oh,
to be a high school?
yeah,
Bishop Sycamore. Thanks, Tyler. Bishop Sycamore versus Valiant Prep.
yeah.
I want to see
my
that duel.
goodness.
No, but
Set that up for AWA duels. Bishop Sycamore versus Valiant Prep.
maybe it is just wrestling. I mean, yeah,
I think it's just wrestling, guys.
Forrest Molinari, Angel Cejudo on the coaching staff. That's pretty good.
And they also teach geometry and U.S. history.
Dude, their league,
wrestling
Bracky
room.
and I were looking at this last year, and their league, the schools in their league are like, they have names like Imagination Surprise or something, like, and you're like, what? Like, how
They
is
all
that
have these weird names.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know how we got back on. Oh, because we're talking.
Oh, Eric Larkin is one of the teachers or something.
Yes.
Oh, he's a junior high coach, and he's the co-founder.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Eric Larkin. He's a great dude.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I'm fascinated.
The story of that school, is just like very, very interesting to me. I gotta learn more.
Mike Douglas, who's the athletic director, I believe he ran a wrestling club in the area.
Yeah, they all wrestle at Thoroughbred.
Yeah, Thoroughbred. That's what I believe he ran that.
And that's where, I mean, like, Henry Cejudo trains there sometimes. Like,
This is too awesome. Then the science department head, he's choosing neutral in his picture. He said, "This is awesome." This is like the best thing ever. I'm so pumped.
Yeah. Hey, it's really interesting. So
Andre Morgan from Chicago, he's the junior high teacher.
this is great.
How did they get him from Chicago?
I don't know. They don't have Valiant Prep in Chicago.
I'm looking through their staff and I know every person. This
Sounds like
so
a good
cool.
staff then.
Man,
What if Max was on there? Max is a strength and conditioning coach?
They're gonna hit you up to
Hey.
be the chaplain.
Max and I have. We've also talked about making our own fake high school. So we might need to be taking some notes here. This is tremendous.
You are the club coaches most likely to start a fake high school, Ben.
No, it's already been done. This is so awesome.
I think they get an actual education here too. At least I hope so.
Well, I'm sure they do, but it looks like they just made it up just to.
So hey,
The science
more importantly,
department is choosing neutral. This is so awesome.
that's great. The English teacher's like doing like 3 near fall. But what do you guys think about the Isagire Buzakis potential rematch? I thought I saw you maybe had something pulled up, JD. Did you have a clip pulled up or no?
Just the match from last time. The way it played out, I think it definitely favors Buzakis this time around, that it's folk style, not freestyle. Isagire kind of has a little bit of a wild style, isn't afraid to go upper body, mix things up. So if Buzakis is able to control things, stay aggressive, but not get overly aggressive and kind of out of control, which happened a little bit in their Fargo match, it's definitely going to favor Buzakis this time around.
One of the things Mike pointed out when we were talking about it, and I think he's doing a video breakdown of this match, Isagire didn't have trouble. Isagire didn't have trouble like defending Buzakis' leg attacks, and he did a good job staying out of that snap go behind situation that Buzakis uses. Like last year at Super 32, Buzakis was like snapping guys into that cow catcher over and over and just like horsepowering people, and Isagiri kind of had a little bit higher stance. He was more interested in trying to defend leg attacks than he was getting snapped down in Fargo. And if he can kind of replicate that game plan, I think it's gonna be really close. But I agree. I think Buzakis is the favorite, even having lost that match. The thing that really impressed me about Isagiri in that match in Fargo, though, was like, there were some crazy exchanges, but when the match got into the later stages and it became about pace, like Isagiri he was in good shape. He looked like no problem hanging in there with Buzakis' physicality, and that to me says he's got a very, very legit chance here. But I'll take Buzakis.
Big Boozy.
Yeah, is everybody taking Buzakis there?
Yep.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Valiant Prep. It's literally like half a mile from where I used to live when I lived there for a year and a half. So I'm checking out my old apartment.
There you go.
How's it looking?
Has it appreciated in value? What's going on?
I mean, it's rented.
What's next to Valiant Prep? So most likely.
You know why I love 138? Super 32 is rapidly becoming my favorite tournament of all time.
We got another Mantanona.
We got another Bowman.
38 is a really wide open.
Just wait till Anthony's still in college and there's however many men all at
I
Oklahoma.
want a fine silver like situation at Oklahoma.
Where half the lineup is men.
Yes. Yes. That's what I want.
mean, we're getting closer to to that being a reality.
Yeah.
So that'd
I'm
be
ready
good.
for it.
Yeah,
All right,
Troy
tee it
with
up.
the 8-man. 38 is super wide open. The one seed is Richard Fedlin. He's coming down from 45, where he placed and looked really good at Fargo. Then we got Bowman, who we all know he was a worldwide famous. He took the Bowman
not
train.
to take you guys off the rails. We did it. Bitcoin all-time high.
Well, I don't know. We'll see what
I might just
Becky's
end this show
experience
right now
Oh,
and
wow.
go have a party upstairs.
is. Wow. Wait, we got Jackie has weighed in. Yeah. So actually, it's a little better than you realize. It's just a little north of 69,000.
Nice.
You don't want to be left behind, Ben. Thank you, Bracky. He is our from Morgantown, West Virginia.
Man.
Oh, that's
There you
funny.
go.
All right.
It's good.
138. I love it. That was good.
He's such a goober.
Yeah, 38 super wide open. You've got guys like Fedlin down from 45, Dylan Gilcher at 7 seed up from 32. So some really interesting stuff here. I kind of think we could see a potential Fargo finals rematch in the Super 32 finals between Joel Adams and Tyler Kasich. That match was incredible. It was wild. Came out of the last second in Fargo. And I think if it's in folk style, it maybe favors Kasich, who's the 4 seed. Those are the two guys I picked to be in the finals. But really, so many guys in this one could punch through. I don't know. I'm very curious. Bowman would have Dylan Gilcher quarterfinal, and then Joel Adams Bowman potential semi. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Joel-
Adams is a monster.
He can't get 5-point. He can't do 5-point throws. They'll probably disqualify him if he does. So that eliminates like 75% of his offense.
You just got to settle for twos.
He's going to settle for 2
Fancy
point
twos.
takedowns. Yeah, that's. I mean, man, I don't know. I think this is a big test for Joel Adams. He's so good international styles. Getting it done in folk style would raise his stock significantly. I kind of think he's going to make the finals. So I don't know. I got Kasich coming out of this one though. What do you guys think?
Yeah, whatever you say. I don't know. I don't know this weight. Well, all I know is Bowman. Bowman title.
If you're gonna know one thing, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing to know.
Kasich's tough on top. I like him a lot, but gotta go with Omaha, Nebraska. Stand up.
Oh wow, you're going Joel.
I hope we're not disrespecting Fedlin. That guy is so solid.
Seems like you don't respect him.
I'm gonna
Because you think his name might be Kevin Federline, the former husband of Britney Spears.
I'm gonna put a little bit of respect on his name right now.
Right.
No, Richard Fedlin is super good, and he's part of that Columbia recruiting class that I think is gonna really change the program. he could win this whole thing. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. I don't know why. I have a spidey sense about Kasich coming out, but that's just how I feel.
Go for it.
All right, 45. This one is interesting.
Now hold on. According to one David Bray, I thought Cody Chittum wasn't going to wrestle in high school anymore.
That was
very much a high school tournament.
That's what we heard. That's what we had heard from.
Lie to us, Bray.
Hey, that was the word on the street, was that Chittum was going to focus on freestyle and wrestle at college opens, and was not going to do any more high school tournaments. And so took him out of the rankings because he wasn't going to do high school events. But now he's back. This is a high school event.
He almost made it to the start of the actual season without competing.
Yeah,
in a high school tournament.
It's you know what, like,
he's coming for that.
So what high school is he going to go to?
He's homeschooled.
He goes to Apex Homeschool, I think is what
he needs to go to Valiant Prep.
Yeah,
listen, I just looked at their board. I just looked at. You want to hear their governing
Boom
board?
Ranch Academy.
No,
what?
I loved it. Listen, they got Kellen Flukinger, former Arizona State All-American, Melissa Larkin. I got to assume that's Eric's wife. Eric Larkin, Aaron Simpson, all-time Arizona State great, and Mike Douglas, thoroughbred wrestling coach. I love these guys. This is so awesome.
Well, I think that the Valiant Prep system, it just really like demonstrates you don't have to follow a traditional high school setup. And talking about Cody Chittum, he's kind of the same thing. Yeah. And if not for COVID, I don't know that he would have gone down this path, right? He was Blair all the way, and then COVID shut everything down, and it was like, well, I mean, I'll just train at Boom Ranch and have guys in and train with them and wrestle whatever schedule I want. And so I think when they made the decision to stick to a non-high school schedule, it was just at that point, it was them thinking about like, man, we don't have to, we're not beholden to anybody. We don't have to show up at any tournament that we don't want to. We can go, if we want to go college opens and do that, we can. If we want to,
Yeah. Max and I just had about a 5-hour conversation on this topic.
What are you going to do? Are you going to send some kids to some college opens?
Where's Ozzy going?
Max is going to take some. But no, just the idea of like what and how, and because we kind of think about things a little bit differently than a lot of people, not just for a lot of people, the only thought is how do we make these kids as competitive as possible. We're kind of also worried about the whole ecosystem within Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. And so, like pulling all the best kids out might kind of hurt the ecosystem long term. And we're trying to weigh all those factors. But one of the, when you speak about Corona, one of the really fascinating things is there's so many great online options now. And I don't know, I think high schools are kind of inefficient and they do 8 hour a day, and you could do that in 3-4 hours and be done with it in an online program that you like, that fits you.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about the ecosystem, and it's especially thinking about a guy like Cody Chittum, it's really interesting to think about what the decisions that these kids have to make does to a wrestling ecosystem. So many guys from the South end up in these prep lineups, right? Like
Pennsylvania for sure.
Yeah. Like, Chittum, or just moved to PA. Think about the guys that have moved out of the southern states into other kind of wrestling hotbeds. Chittum was at Blair for a long time. You look at Wyoming Sim, Gabe Arnold's from Georgia. Luke Lillidahl.
You just talked about the kids that are at
Bishop McCourt.
What's it? Bishop McCourt. Those guys, they're from Tennessee and North Carolina, maybe or something.
Jax Forrest is from North Carolina. Herring's from Tennessee. Chittum moving out of Tennessee. Noah Pettigrew is from Georgia. He was in Blair for a while, and it really it makes it really hard to. Oh, Joe Seeley, another North Carolina guy. He's at Wyoming Seminary.
Oh, he didn't live. Oh, I thought he lived in North Carolina still.
No, he just over the summer he's at Sem. So it changes the ecosystem of wrestling. And that's a decision that has got to be really hard for these families. Like, what do I do? Like, if you're Cody Chittum's family, it's like, what do I prioritize? Building the wrestling ecosystem in Tennessee, or getting the most I can out of my years when I'm in this developmental stage.
Well, if it's one kid, if it's one kid or one parent, I see it. That's like a lot of. So we don't have school choice here. We have open enrollment, whereas an 8th grader or 9th grader, you could choose where you want to go. And I don't blame parents at all that want the best opportunity for their kids. Like some people look down on them, and it's like they want the best opportunity for the kid. But for Max and I, we got to think about what's best for the whole ecosystem, and then try to also at the same time do what's best for our kids too. It's a balancing act.
Yeah.
Where's Aussie Man Strong Boy going to high school?
That's so far away. Who knows?
All right. You better start looking.
He might be going to Valiant Prep.
Yeah,
Sounds like.
that's what I'm angling.
There you go.
Right.
But to the wrestling at 45, Chittum is going to be the favorite to make the finals. The semi on the other side is seeded to be Arrington and Ty Whalen. That's a fun match. I got Arrington there. We saw him at Who's Number One. The guy attacks like crazy, which if we get an Arrington Chittum final, Chittum's going to be the favorite, but I love the pace that Arrington puts on. His approach to wrestling is just pull the trigger, and so that could be a really fun match in the finals.
Got another Larkin here.
Yes,
The 4 seed. Jude Swisher, shout out.
Caleb Larkin. There should be a Gibson family, Larkin family, showdown. That basically is what happened at Fargo. The Mason Gibson lost to which Larkin did he lose to? Kyler Larkin in that crazy match, and then like not long after, Eric Gibson had that match with Caleb Larkin, and Eric got him back. There's like a family feud going on there. Those two families. But yeah, I think it's Chittum Arrington in the finals, and I got Chittum. What do you guys got?
Yeah, I mean, I think Cody's a huge favorite here. I would be surprised to see him lose.
Like Cody.
Mm-hmm. It is going to be interesting. Coming off injury, hasn't competed in a while. Will that be a factor? Who knows? But either way, it'll be fun. Okay, 152. I think this weight class has, I don't know, 6 really legit title favorites.
Yeah, it's definitely the most up for grabs weight, in my opinion.
I think so too. It is wide open. Michael Kilich is the 1 seed based on his placement here last year, but he's like ranking wise, he's a little bit behind some of the other guys like Mesenbrink, Gibson, Ruiz.
Oh, yeah.
The two sophomores in this bracket, Zach Ryder and Joe Seeley, are really interesting to me. They're guys that look like they're just about to, there's a question: will they make a next level jump? And this is the time to do it. I would not be at all surprised to see a Zach Ryder, Joe Seeley final. There are a lot of good guys here, though, and I don't know. I mean, Nico Ruiz is super, super good. It's going to be a tough match for Ryder in the quarters. So I don't know. But I kind of think those two guys, we got a Wisconsin guy, the 2 seed, Mesenbrink. What do you think about him, Ben?
I work a lot with him. I think he's made some really good progress. Came up a little bit short at Fargo. So funny that he lost to the same 2 guys at Super 32 and at Fargo, which were, oh my gosh, what's the guy's name? The guy from Owatonna. And then Pinero Johnson was the other kid that's at Iowa State.
Yeah.
Who's the kid? He was like the number 4 kid in the country last year from Minnesota. Help me out.
Cale Swenson.
Cale Swenson, yes, he lost to him twice. So I think he's made some good progress. I think, honestly, I think he's the favorite because he's ranked number 3 in your guys' rankings, and these other guys are a little bit lower. Mm-hmm. I think Eric Gibson's really good, so that's probably a pretty tough matchup. And I can't say I've watched a lot of the other guys.
Hey, Mesenbrink, I got a question for you about Mesenbrink. He's like basically the first big recruit for Cal Baptist. What went into that process? That's huge for them.
Yeah, he just really liked it. I guess academics were really important to him, so he was looking at Penn and Columbia and there's some other really high up academic institutions, and so but I guess he really loved Cal Baptist when he went out there and committed there. He's really happy about it.
Yeah, they needed a guy like that, and I'm curious if other people will follow.
I think they got someone else fairly highly ranked recently. too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not coming to mind, but a
California kid.
Yeah. I can't remember right now, but anyway, okay. Well, that'd be
And
interesting.
maybe Gaitan. Did Gaitan commit?
MJ Gayton. Yeah. I think it was.
Is that how it is? Okay.
MJ.
Okay.
Cool. 160. Levi Haynes is a pretty big favorite. He's maybe the biggest. He's one of the biggest favorites of the entire tournament, in my opinion, at 160. I mean, it's Levi Haynes, and then it's the field. I do think maybe his toughest match could come in the quarterfinals with Jonathan Lay. He was a breakout performer here last year, placed really high, might have been third. I don't understand him at the 8 seed. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That's going to be a fun match, I think, with Lay and Haynes. But Levi Haynes is, I think, pretty far removed from this field. Not necessarily this whole weight class, but just this particular field. I think Levi Haynes is pretty far ahead.
We were supposed to, or originally thought we were going to see a rematch with Riggins, but I don't think Riggins is going to be there anymore, unfortunately. Because Riggins actually took a match from him in the Cadet World Team Trials Finals.
Yeah. I know. I was really looking forward to that rematch because it seemed like both those guys have a pretty clear path to the finals, but now we don't get it. I think it's Levi Haynes. Next topic, really.
All right.
Levi, Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah. Well, okay. There you go. Big underwear brand. 170. If 160 is next topic, 170 is anything but. Rocco Welsh and Braden Thompson, two guys who were at Who's Number One, and then Matt Singleton coming down from 82. He's the 1 seed, and I actually picked him to win it. I think he is really, really good. But man,
why did Singleton come down? Do you guys know?
I don't know. I think that's maybe been the plan all along. I believe that's been the plan all along. He, I think, was up from what I understand, he was up for like junior duels and stuff like that because it made sense for the Georgia team. But also, he made the Greco Junior World Team at like whatever. It was a weight class in between. It was I don't remember what the kilo number was, but it was like 177. And so I think it was like, well, I'll just stay up while I'm doing that, and then now that it's getting closer to the season, it's like he's going to come back down.
Also, a lot of people will go a much lower weight or a lower weight class than they would because of the weigh-in rules at Super 32.
The night before.
Oh, because the day before.
Yeah. So I kind of think that's it. But dude, he's super, super good. Was in the finals here last year, and I think he could win the whole thing. But man, God, like Rocco Welsh and Braden Thompson are both super good. We didn't get to see Welsh and Thompson at Who's Number One. They were on opposite sides of that 4-man group, and that's set up to be a semi. Be good. Singleton's not going to have like a walk to the finals. Tate Noctiborin or Rune Lawrence potentially in the semis. Both those guys are really good, and Rune Lawrence is a sophomore that is kind of like Ryder and Seeley, who we talked about earlier. He's a guy that I think could make a big jump, and if he...
I mean, he won Pennsylvania State as a freshman, so...
Yeah, he had, ranked wins there, but those are ranked wins in like the 15 to 20 range. This would be... I mean, if he made it to the finals in this field or won it, that would be like a really, really big jump. I think it's a jump he's going to make at some point. I don't know if it's this weekend. So I picked Singleton to win it. But man, I love this weight. Cody Merrill down at the 6. That guy's super dangerous. Man, there's a lot of ways this one could go.
82, Brian Soldano, the top seed there. Isn't he among the bigger favorites in this weight class or this tournament?
He is. There are guys that can go with him for sure. One of them's an AWA guy, Clayton Whiting. He and Hayden Walters met at Fargo. Walters the 2, Whiting the 3. Walters won that one.
Oh, that was that fifth. Oh, that was a Conti semi. It was like a 2-1, right?
I think by the end it was like 5-2 or something. But it was a close match.
Close.
And those guys are both good. The match I really hope we see is a potential semi between Soldano and Rogatsky.
Yeah.
Ryder Rogotsky is like, he's a kitchen sink guy.
He's crazy.
He's crazy. He pinned Gabe Arnold in a lat whip.
Gabe Arnold.
And that was wild.
They beat him again on the backside, right?
Beat him again on the backside. The dude is like, he does what he was at Journeyman, I think, a couple weeks ago, and he was hitting lat whips from bottom. He was like reaching back, lat whipping guys. You'll end up on your back like from any position with Rogotsky. Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Oh, so this the Crescent Valley team out of Oregon. We talked about Valiant Prep, but I feel like Crescent Valley's got a ton of good dudes.
Yes.
Who's the coach up
Let's
there?
look at their website.
I might have to look it up.
Yeah, they're super good.
It doesn't sound like a private school though, Christian.
Crescent Valley. I don't know. Bishop. It has some Bishop Sycamore kind of vibes. You never know.
But the Whiting Walter semi will be fun because it's a rematch. But Saldana Rogotsky, like Brian Saldano, I can't remember which round it was in Fargo. He went double overs, made like a misstep, ended up on his back, kept the double overs, fought off his back, got back to his feet, and then chucked the guy to his back and pinned him. Like the guy is just. Saldano's really good, but he's like Rogotsky in that he's not afraid to do any technique, and he's
wild.
He's wild. He has like incredible tools. He's gonna be. If we see
that,
he
uses like butterfly guard in wrestling.
Yes.
Clayton was shooting on him, and he kept doing a freaking chest wrap, and it was. I sure thought they were calling the points wrong, but
dang.
Well, maybe so. But
Crescent Valley is just a very real school. Just a very real public.
Yeah, they're number
school.
6 in the country allegedly via their Twitter.
It's a good school.
Wow,
very good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Saldano's a favorite, but all these guys, the guys from 2 to 6, 7 in the seeds can push him, and he does have that. There is that quality where like if he's willing to take risks and that could potentially. Yeah. Bite him, but he won this tournament last year. Taking risks didn't hurt him. It usually doesn't, and he's my pick to win it again. 195.
Can't wait to watch him at the next level too. I think he's gonna be really fun,
dude. Imagine what's gonna happen in the rack when Saldano locks up double overs. Like the whole crowd is just gonna lose their minds.
They're real bananas.
They're gonna start spelling out the word bananas.
Bananas.
195. Seth Shoemate's the 1 seed. Rylan Rogers the 2. Colby Franklin the 3. Martin Cosgrove the 4. Wyatt Volker the 5. And it's good after that as well. Shoemate's the favorite. Shoemate and Rogers is a match that we haven't seen. It's seeded to be the final. That would be a really fun one.
I think Rylan Rogers.
Yeah. Rylan's coming up in weight, right?
He is, yes. That's a big question mark for me, because if this thing plays out to seed, then he would have Colby Franklin in the semis. Colby Franklin is huge, 195 pounder. That guy is like, he's big. He moves really, really well. Colby Franklin had a wild match with Seth Shoemate at Fargo. It was like 10-8, and Colby was like in on the match-winning takedown as time expired, something like that. And,
Rylan did beat him for 3rd at Fargo.
That's true. So,
I think Rylan wins.
You think you got Rylan?
Yeah, Shoemate, I don't know. I think he's got all the talent. He's the most talented guy here, but navigating the full bracket, I still don't know if I don't know if he'll do it.
Yeah. Shoemate, like, even as a sophomore, he had like a power advantage, big, strong guy, super good. Rylan Rogers is, that his technique, I think, is probably better than anybody else in the field. If that's a final, I picked Shoemate, I think, in the preview, but I could see that one going to Rogers either way. I also think Colby Franklin, he just seems like he's been improving and doing kind of the things that could land him on top of this one. So, but I picked Shoemate there.
And then we got a Christian Carroll alert at 220.
He is the biggest favorite in this entire tournament, in my opinion. He's just gonna cartwheel over 220 pounders habitually. He's addicted to cartwheeling over 220 pounders. He's just a
cartwheeler.
He can't help it. It's like the only thing he knows how to do. He is so big and strong, so athletic. His wrestling positional awareness, his technique is as good as almost anybody at any weight class. Yeah, it's Christian Carroll, and the guys that are behind him are guys that have been kind of waiting for a breakout moment. Guys, Jack Dara, Logan Shepard, Parker Farrell, really tough guys, but just haven't proven to be near where Christian Carroll is at this point. So 220 to me is kind of a next topic weight. Christian Carroll's the biggest favorite in the tournament.
Now he's an Illinois commit.
Yes.
Is he? He's only a junior, right?
Yep.
Curious how that recruiting battle materializes, if it's completely shut down for good, or you have to figure these schools are not going to, stop attempting to get him, especially some of his caliber.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that schools are going to continue to try to recruit him. Right now, he seems very firm in his commitment. Like on social media, it's a lot of Illinois posts, and not just like him wearing Illinois gear, but anytime any news breaks Illinois' way, he's all over it.
That's awesome.
So right now he's pretty locked in, but no, I mean, I think people are going to keep putting the pressure on. He's going to be very interesting at the next level. I think the big question is where does he go weight class wise? I know for a long time he's talked about wanting to go 97 to start. He is huge though. I don't know though. He weighed in at super, or at who's number one. He didn't have to make any kind of weight class because he was wrestling Nick Feldman, and he stepped on the scale at 222. So
boy.
he's not like as big as, I think a lot of people think he's like 235.
222 as a high school junior.
Yeah.
Making 197 in 2 years. That sounds tough.
It would be tough for sure. It would be tough for sure, but I think a lot of guys at 97 are cutting that kind of weight.
Do you?
Well,
he's going to heavyweight. Come on.
You think so? Right away?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If he's weighing 222 as a junior, even if he grows
zero, it's going to be not easy to make.
Yeah. What do you think? Like Braxton Amos walks around at?
Same thing. But I think 197 is going to be hard for him. I've said that.
Yeah.
That's been a major topic of conversation.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's another one of those guys in that kind of that Kyle Snyder mold. Maybe he goes 97 for a year, maybe not. Maybe he's just
that was
heavyweight.
tough for Kyle. We all know that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And just think about with Kyle, like he's probably a perfectly suited 213, right? Like he's like right at his perfect weight, and coming down that extra 16 pounds, even if you're big like Kyle, was really tough, and he did it 1 year.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Christian Carroll just focus on getting big.
Also, why go down? Like, does it help Illinois?
I don't know that that's a big consideration.
I think a lot of people think they're a smaller weight until the time comes.
Well, I do think that long term, Christian Carroll imagines himself winning an Olympic gold medal at 97 kilos. And so I think when guys that are at that 97 kilo, they really have a decision to make. Like, do I try to get big and wrestle heavyweight knowing, I'm going to have to come down to 213, or do I stick around 97? And then it's just a weird, he's right in that middle kind of weird way. He's perfect for 97 kilos.
I think you're better off coming down than trying to quickly build yourself up into a, well, Kyle Snyder did it. I think Kyle preferred to come down and go 97 than go up, but you would think that'd be the better direction.
That's what Nick Feldman's doing. And, obviously Feldman was committed to Ohio State early, and you got to wonder if like he's had those exact conversations with the Ohio State staff about Kyle and about that decision and about
Feldman wants to go 213.
Well, I'm saying he's going heavyweight.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm saying he's going heavyweight without being big enough to, right now to really weigh at 285. If he was wrestling freestyle right now, I think he would be able to go 97.
I
don't feel like there's been a 285-pound national champ in a while. I mean,
Dustin Fox.
Kuhn was very, very large. Dustin Fox, yeah, Kuhn was very large, but most of these other guys are. I mean, Gable's 250, and I think he's probably gotten bigger.
Yeah,
Kassar was small. It's just.
I mean,
Snyder
think about
was
this.
Small.
We think of
250.
We think of Cassiopeia as like a prototypical heavyweight big guy. He weighed 246 for his certification.
Wow.
Really? That's it?
Yeah.
But that's a
I
different.
think he leaned up. He got leaner though.
He got leaner.
Yeah,
but
like last year he was probably 270, right, or 265.
I bet
I
not.
feel like he lost a lot of weight.
I bet he was not 270.
Really? Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where Christian Carroll's going to go. Maybe heavyweight makes the most sense. I know that for a long time he was thinking 97. He's got 2 years to make that decision though, and maybe 3 if he redshirts. So
that's what I'm. Yeah.
So, you know,
you got to project him at heavyweight.
At heavyweight at Super 32, Chase Horn, the 1 seed. He's a pretty big favorite here too. I think Chase Horn gets it done, and I hope he does. He was runner up here. He was a runner up in Fargo. No thanks to Ben Askren and the Askren Wrestling Academy.
It was Max and Jordan, but yeah,
Max's fault. But I think Chase Horn gets it done here. I think he's gonna roll.
Chase is a cool dude. I hope he gets it done as well. So that's Super 32. When do you go? When are you going?
Not till Friday.
Who all's going?
Friday.
JD, me, JD, Spay, Andy Hamilton.
Oh, solid crop.
Yeah.
This will be my first Super 32 in North Carolina, actually.
Yeah.
So last year it was at the beach.
The inaugural.
Yeah, last year's at the beach.
Sometimes Greensboro can be a wild town, so be careful.
Yeah.
Don't join any biker gangs.
Pulling for no hit and runs right outside the Coliseum this year.
Yes, sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't.
Hopefully not this year.
Okay. Why don't we want to talk about this Sajidulayev interview, JD, that you put in the chat?
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of interesting. You can find it on UWW's website. They transcribed a bunch from an interview he did, mostly talking about Snyder. And there are just some interesting quotes in there, like him saying he thought Snyder was better prepared for the Olympics than the Worlds.
I actually might agree with that. I thought Kyle, because he looked better at the Olympics. He he had
a different game plan coming into Worlds.
Well, I'm not even talking about.
We're talking specifically about the Sajidulayev match.
No.
Or we're talking about all of the matches.
Yes, thought he looked better, and I think that makes
where do I find
too.
Where do I find the 2 and 21? I was gonna go back and look at the Olympic bracket.
I mean, he was an error away from.
Didn't he have the easier side of the bracket at the Olympics?
Yeah, he did, but I still thought he looked
by a lot because there was a really tough segment on the other side.
The Iranian was opposite. I think Salas was opposite. He had a great draw, but I still can say that I think he looked better at the Olympics in spite of all that.
So this website is annoying. What's his path at the Olympics?
Well, he had Cunyedo. I know he had
for the Olympics.
Yeah, I don't know if he had Otakadze. He might have.
There's no bracket on this.
It's okay. Let's go.
Let's go. Where are we going? We're trying to talk about Kyle Snyder. And I'm trying to give you an accurate assessment.
His next quote.
Okay.
Was interesting.
Can I give you my take? My take.
Snyder went to Steen, Cunyedo, Cardenas from Turkey, and then lost to Sajidulayev.
So I feel like those are all kind of like Kyle's going to win those matches almost every single time. And then at the Worlds, obviously the Iranian guy, I would pick the Iranian guy over any of those guys right there that he wrestled at the Olympics. So I feel like Kyle looked good in both. He just had a tougher competition at the Worlds.
Yes, I do agree with that.
That's my take.
Sajidulayev said he got more tired at Worlds.
Did he?
Did Kyle did or
he said that. He said that Kyle got more tired at Worlds.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said he felt better and it was easier to win at Worlds.
Yeah. I didn't think it was. I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't see. I thought Kyle looked better at the Olympics. That's all. I mean, I looked better physically, more offensive. I don't know if he wore out, but I think he was more worn out than he was at the Olympic Games. But it's interesting, Sajidulayev knows what Snyder's gonna do. It's the thing we talked about. It's like you got to get this guy tired and then see what happens. And when the guy knows that, hey, that's your way to do it, you can enter these energy conserving tactics. And we saw Yazdani implement a similar strategy in a different sort of way to slow down the match with David Taylor and just getting underhook over under a bunch. But it's funny. He says, like, for now, I will go for a vacation. I will spin the globe and go wherever my finger points.
Hope it's Austin, Texas.
I hope it's Austin. Open invite, Rashid. We can celebrate your 27th birthday. I know you had it in October. We can celebrate it.
There's a good chance he ends up in the middle of the ocean doing that.
Statistically speaking.
Be careful. That's a dangerous game to play. That's a great point.
I also like they asked him why he chose to wrestle in Oslo and not take it off like some of the other Olympians, and he was like, 5-time world champion sounds better than 4-time world champion.
It's true.
I mean,
I really think UWW does this, and Russians do it too. But they so we pretty much consider the Olympics and the world. So I would say John Smith is a 6-time world Olympic champion, or Jordan Burroughs is now a 6. They count the world separately. Like, for example, UWW has had a post about Jordan was the first 5-time world champion, which obviously is correct. But when you count them both, John and him are both at 6.
Yes.
I find that to be funny.
Yeah. Sajidulayev, I think he is kind of his own guy here, and I think you have to assume he's thinking 2024 and then being done, and like, let me just get to the end here and keep winning, and then I can look back and be the greatest ever. You know?
Don't you think he's probably thinking about? I mean, he didn't say it specifically in the interview, but don't you think he's probably thinking about all time?
He's said that before.
Yeah.
That he thinks about that he's chasing however many.
I wonder who he thinks the greatest of all time is.
Medved or Satiev, or right? There's a couple that you could put up there.
Mm-hmm. And for him, I think he also doesn't view it as much of a challenge as guys like Uguev. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
he's like,
true.
yeah, I feel better. Like my knee's a little bit healed up. Why not go win 5 matches?
Man, to be in Sajidulayev would just be something.
Right?
Like, the weight, making the weight is no problem.
Yeah.
Winning the world championship is no problem. Like, it's not no problem. It's tough, but come on.
That's what
Compared
I'm
to
saying.
Uguev, like, dude, just getting down to weight for Uguev alone is brutal. And
Seriously.
or Rashidov or all those guys, like, they have a lot to think about. For Sajidulayev, it's
Yeah.
like, well, how many world titles do I want? 4 or 5? I guess I'll take the 5. See you there.
Smoke him if you got him. Get him while you can.
Yeah.
Spin the globe. End up in the ocean.
Globe, wherever your finger points. So yeah, good job, Sajidulayev. Enjoy your time. Okay. Do we want to go to some questions? We have some good user submission. Questions?
We answered the PD3 dumpster fire last week, so we should delete that.
Well, I want to talk about it. Well, what did you say?
We just talked about it.
What was said? Was I there?
Yeah.
Man,
We talked about how, while it may be a little bit expensive when we compare it to other sports, it's not.
I don't think I was on this show.
Where were you then?
I don't know. I could have been in Oslo. This question was from
slacking.
September 29th.
Slacking piles.
Well, I'm not slacking. I was just in Norway.
Slacking.
I definitely
Oh!
remember talking about this, but I don't remember if you were there or not either.
I don't remember.
I don't think
you
it
were
was
here.
when you were in Oslo. Yeah, we didn't do questions when you were in Oslo.
Oh, you're busting, Miles.
What did I say?
You were
Listen.
here.
I mean, I could be in the early stages of dementia. It's possible.
Seriously.
I'm 36. Well,
No, we talked about yes, there's a little more expenses than maybe there used to be, but when you compare it to other sports, it's not even close. And that even on someone in a lower socioeconomic status can still definitely afford wrestling at a high level.
okay. If you live in the right place and you have people that can take you to multiple practices, I don't know.
Why don't
Already
you
did
know?
this.
Let me hear.
Well, sure. If you are, there's the way you get good at wrestling is you practice it a lot and you have good coaches, right? And
Fair,
those
yeah.
are not always within 10 minutes. If you live in Illinois, in Chicago, there's a lot of clubs around you. If you live in even, there's most places in the country
Got it,
you are
yeah.
not near a good wrestling club. Most. You got people that drive to Seabolt from Wisconsin, right? Those
I know what the
you
deal
can't just do that. Most kids don't have that opportunity. They don't have the parents that'll fly them around. You look at the national schedules that some of these kids are wrestling from a young age, all through high school.
But I would
very
strongly
expensive.
argue that that's unnecessary. And we're gonna Max and I are gonna prove it. I mean, doing it the way we're going to do it, we're definitely going to prove that that's not necessary.
Well, Ben, if someone lives within, that's if someone lives near where you have facilities. Like that's just not available to most.
No, I'm saying that. I mean so I mean, what I think is highly unnecessary, and I don't want to say Flow is part of the problem, but kind of by definition, you guys are. And no offense, obviously. And youth tournaments, like big youth tournaments, want to make kids feel like they have to go to them in order to have this long-term success, when that's just not the case. And so, like I've said, we said the last time this argument is like, you can do almost all the tournaments locally and then do 1 to 2 big national ones. And so obviously with local, you can do like a Western regional or some other really hard tournaments. You can find a couple close to you where they're definitely driving distance, one night a hotel, right? Unless maybe you're like in the middle of Montana, but anywhere on the East Coast for sure. Most likely anywhere in California, Southwest for sure. Maybe strange parts of Texas and Montana, or somewhere up there. But so you can find a lot of those, and then you got to pay for 2 bigger tournaments a year is what I would say.
Okay. Well, I don't want to revisit it. Okay. Do you have any you want to queue up here, JD?
It seemed like a topic you're passionate about.
I am sort of passionate. I do think wrestling is becoming.
I think it's become a victim of where you are born or raised.
Born and raised. I mean, I think parental involvement is essential. And if your parents are not supporting it, it's really hard to be elite. And not
wouldn't that be all sports though, and all times?
Yeah, maybe so. But I think it's really hard to be elite without that level of support. And that's just not just like financials. Like, do your parents have the time to run you around to the degree that's necessary to be really, really good? I think it is getting that way. I mean, I think it's expensive. I mean, I pay for a club. I think, and it's like,
how much is your club?
It's not an expensive club. It's just that's how much it costs. I think it's expensive. I'm not getting into finance. I'm not putting all the.
Why not? We're talking about how much clubs cost. I'll tell you how much mine is if you want to know.
How much?
We charge $135 for if you're a year member, and if you're a 3-month member, that's $175 a month.
Yeah, it's about like that.
Okay, but when you compare that to other sports, Christian, it's not close to other sports.
Yeah,
I don't know much about youth, or not youth, but like high school football. But I think that's one where it's still mostly by your school, and everything is given to you by the school except for maybe cleats. But like you're padded up.
Baseball's insane. Hockey's insane. Lacrosse, field hockey, they're all gymnastics.
I'm not saying that it's the most expensive sport or that it's as expensive as those sports. I don't think it is, but I think it is. I think the barrier, I think it's increasing a little bit.
Okay,
just my opinion.
Fair enough.
And you look, man. There's some. I think it's. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
What?
How about
what?
That? How about that?
Say it. Come on.
No, I don't want to say it. All right, then I got to deal with it. So let's go.
Any questions you see you want to queue up?
Yeah. Well, I guess you answered this one already, but can Spencer Lee turn Spencer Lee on top? I say yes.
I said yes.
I think it's a great question.
He's a freak on top.
I think it's funny. It cracked me up. But there's only one way to know.
We need to clone him.
We have to clone him, which I'm sure a lot of wrestling coaches are attempting to do that. That would be a smart strategy. Adam Rush asks, was your most anticipated NCAA weight class this year, and why is it 133? I don't know that it is 133.
No, 197.
Yeah, we said 197.
I like 197. I like 74, actually. I think that's really exciting. Super fun. I'm really excited for that one.
What if A1 Nikki Push-Ups comes back?
Oh, my gosh.
At 125.
My gosh.
Does that take the cake?
If he goes 125, that's it. Just forget it. I mean, get rid of 197, too. Sorry to say.
Get rid of all the weight classes. Let's just do one match.
Just do one match 3 times at the duel. At
33 is fun with him and RBY and Dayton. Then you have a kind of a 3-way.
It is, but it's also like we've seen it, and the other thing is like, well, we know that Dayton and Nick have to have boring matches. They're contractually obligated to not take each other down.
Yes.
So I don't know. I think the drama that you inject into Nick going 125 with the express purpose of wanting to beat Spencer is like as juicy as it gets. Now I wonder what percentage chance would you give Nick against Spencer?
Decent.
Really?
Yeah.
How decent?
25.
Okay. So they could wrestle 3 times if he goes to a Big Ten school.
Oh, so then 75 times 75 times 75. So we're saying if he gets 3 chances, he's going to beat him. There's probably a 60% chance he beats him if they get three chances. Is that what we're saying?
3 crackaroonies. Yeah.
I would say, you know what's funny? Statistics in wrestling. I was actually just talking to someone about this in MMA, the difference in MMA. In wrestling, even, you know, like statistically speaking, if you have 75% chances, you multiply those and then you get a chance that of one of the 3. But in wrestling, I don't feel like it uses the same math function. You know what I'm saying? Like, if one guy is better than another guy, but only by a little bit, there's still a good chance he's going to beat him every single time. Whereas in mixed martial arts, because of all the crazy things that happen, you're more likely to get a different winner or a different outcome.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they teach that in 9th grade math at Valiant Prep.
It's basic fractions.
That's good. That's good.
Next question. Kurt Arnoldson. There's one too many syllables in your name, Kurt. You need to chuck one.
So many syllables.
Sorry.
Just call him Kurt Arney. Kurt Arney.
Kurt Arney.
Oh my!
He wants us to start a book study, which I just think Ben should read a book and just synthesize books to us.
I'm reading this book right now. Well, you know what? I was stubborn for so long, Christian, on like actually reading the books and not doing audiobooks. And then there's a couple I really wanted to read, and I'm like, I know I don't have time, so I audiobooked them. I've audiobooked 5.5 books in the last like 2 weeks, so I'm like getting a lot of information up in the old noggin. But the one I'm listening to right now is
The Notebook.
Dude, I can't recommend it more. It's Why We
Twilight,
Sleep by
Goosebumps.
50 Shades
You
of
guys
Grey.
shut up. Why We Sleep by Matt Walker. Dude, Some of these stats and studies they have on sleep and lack of sleep are freaking fascinating.
Yeah,
fascinating.
Give us I'm interested in this.
Well, just like the ones that was a couple chapters ago, they're talking about they bring people in for a study and they do 8 hours. You get 8 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours, or no hours, right? And the initial study was 3 days, and they want to see the cognitive decline over the 3 days. And obviously, no sleep is like this.
Yeah.
But there was a significant decline in cognitive function of the 4 and 6 hour groups. And then they did longer studies with the 4 and 6 hour groups. The 0 hour groups, they said that's too dangerous, and they cut that one, right? And the cognitive decline doesn't stop, right? So it just keeps going down and down and down over the course of time. And he said there's like people that talk about functioning with 4 and 6 hours of sleep, and he
Jocko,
said he has never had anyone come to his office and actually prove it. So he said anyone who's came to he's studied thousands of people, and anyone who's actually came in and recorded their sleep and then recorded their cognitive function, it's absolutely went down.
I think I saw a stat. I don't remember where I saw this or how true it even is. But driving on, it's like I think they did like 4 hours of sleep or something is more dangerous than drunk driving to a certain degree. Obviously not.
Yeah, they did. No, it is. They did a driving simulator, and they did kind of same stuff. So they did 8 hours, 8 hours with drinking, 4 hours, and then 4 hours with drinking. And it's the amount that it's worse. It's not like 10% worse. It's like 11x worse. Like you're way more likely to get in accidents. And when the 4 hours with drinking, and his point was like, well, most people, if they've been drinking and they're driving, they're lacking sleep because they've been awake for. Right, they're not drinking and driving at 3 p.m. They're drinking and driving at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. And it's like an insane amount worse. So like the book is like mind blowing. I would really, really recommend it.
Well, I'm remembering one of the Kale quotes about Nick Lee. Why he's doing a good job. He gets 9 and a quarter hours of sleep a night.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I remember
Yeah, and
reading.
so, I mean-
I read somewhere that like lack of sleep and like being overworked was a big part of like the Challenger explosion. Like they cited like some of the mistakes that were made to, you know, they attributed some of those things to lack of sleep because they were like trying to meet this deadline and they were working way too many hours and sleeping way too few, and they're like, dude, basically like they were drunk on the job trying to get this rocket
The
off
benefits
the ground.
kind of plateau at like 8 though. Like there's not that much difference between 8 and 9.25.
No, you want to be done.
Wow.
I mean, he's
Speak for yourself.
saying eight is like good, and there's not really much use in going over that. But yeah, I mean, not just so cognitive impairments, but then he's also talking about like they're talking about there's some hormones that make you eat. You know, one that makes you feel full, and then one that makes you want food. And if you have lack of sleep, you're more likely to be obese because you want food, and then specifically the food that's not good for you,
Junk
you
food.
desire more when you sleep,
And you
I
have
know
less
that's
discipline to turn it down.
And then like your blood pressure goes up when you don't sleep. Like, I mean, just like, it's just like, and I feel like I've been a pretty good sleeper, but it's like, dude, I gotta freaking sleep every night. Cause I mean, this book is like super eye opening. So highly recommend it.
I love it.
And
I love it.
Yeah, one of the topics, and this will be with Askren High School, but one of the topics they're going to get into, they're leading into, and this is pretty fascinating. So they said that circadian rhythm of adolescence moves back, which you guys all know that, right? Like adolescents, for whatever reason, like to stay up later, and it's literally because their circadian rhythm moves back. But he's going to talk about the problem with lack of sleep because almost all high schools have these insanely early start times. And so I'm very curious to see what his answer is, right? Like what they should be doing.
Yeah.
I know I was miserable my freshman, sophomore year of high school. I was freaking miserable because you have to wake up at 6 a.m. and that was super hard for me.
Shout out Hutto Hippos. They start the elementary school kids like 7:45 in the morning, but then the high school doesn't start till like 9.
That's how it should be probably.
And the middle school is in between, so like it helps with the bus, like it spreads the bus traffic out, but also it's like I think they've looked at some of the sleep stuff, and they're you know they're hippos, so you know
they need
Come
more
and take
sleep.
this hippo.
They need a lot of sleep.
So I haven't got to that chapter, but I'll give you guys the update on that chapter. But I couldn't recommend this book more. The other one, the last one that I read listened to, was fascinating, which was Lifespan by David Sinclair, and that was just talking about he's an anti-aging guy, the guy that I was telling you about, because I told you I was reading that because we were talking about Kyle Dake.
Yeah.
He thinks that you can absolutely reverse aging. So
I don't know anyone that's
maybe
pro-aging.
Kyle Dake's not so crazy.
You know, it's kind of,
Well, so his take is that people accept aging and they don't consider it a disease, and aging is like
Was that the guy that
so highly.
did he do Rogan once?
He did, yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I think I listened to it.
Yeah, and so
and you just
aging
listen to
is
it.
highly correlated with every disease that you can have, and people just accept that that's the case. So
What are like the things he attributes that we could be doing to limit?
Well, I already
aging?
bought one thing. So I mean, okay, without supplementation, but I bought this NMN stuff, which is supposed to raise your NAD levels, which is very important.
I don't know
guess.
either of those abbreviations for the record.
Well,
New
Google
Mexico
it. I
levels?
bought it. But the three things he says for anti-aging was non-supplements. Number one, exercise is really important, obviously. Number two, fasting of some type, and they don't have a specific. So he said, like intermittent fasting. Some people do like a fast every quarter, where they don't eat for 5 days or something like that. But he said fasting is absolutely proven to help with longevity. And then he also said, this is fascinating, is getting out of your thermoneutral zone. So hot and cold are really important.
I do those things.
you mean sauna? You mean like getting a sauna?
Yeah, very hot and very cold. So he said cold. I think he did cold plunge or whatever. Also,
I hate cold.
That's
though.
tougher to find in
hate
Texas.
it. I hate cold.
It's the worst. Sauna.
I'm gonna build. The UFC has the UFC PI. They have a hot and cold next to each other, and it makes the cold a little bit better, Christian. So I'm gonna do one of those sometime.
Yeah. I mean, it's like my issue is the recommended amount of time in the cold. Not just that you have to get in it. It's like, okay, wait, how long in here? No, thanks. I just won't take a cold shower. But jump in a pool, but like it's extreme. Well, okay, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we were talking about Soriano to 125. Sebastian Rivera's got to be trolling here, but he put it on Instagram.
Yes, he's trolling.
He's
But-
trolling.
You got to bring it up. It's fun to bring it. He said, "Stop asking what weight. My favorite numbers are 1, 2, and 5, though." Now I don't know. I think he
just
should
wrestled 65 kilograms.
Doesn't mean he should. He should have been at 61 at Worlds.
He really should have been. Huh?
I think his peak performance is probably like in the 133 range. If I had to guess, that's just my assumption. 125, I don't think so. But it's fun to talk about.
Very small.
Yeah, very small. We'll see. Maybe we'll see where he's certified. Maybe we can find that out. Okay. Well, it's 9:42. We should probably get the heck out of here. Ben's ready to go. We're ready to go. Ben's got to
I'm gonna
pee.
listen to my book some more.
As we all know, he's got to listen to books on tape. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. Talk more wrestling, maybe a little more Super 32. Who knows what we're going to talk about. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great Wednesday. See ya.